Chapter 8. Personal Life in Latin America. I always loved Latin America. I don't even know why exactly, I just adored it, that's all. For me, it was a place of dancing, singing, beautiful women, the Amazon jungle, Mexican passions and much more. At the time of writing this book, I had only managed to visit 3 countries in North America: Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. So far, Argentina is in the top, but Brazil is no less magnificent. I met many wonderful people there, and I had a relationship with a woman. She loved the style of the 60s, she looked elegant, and she was a very mature person. She needed a man, and I needed a woman, so we found each other. However, our relationship didn't last long because I met someone else. I'm not ashamed to admit this, and I'm not defending myself or saying that I'm not at fault. I just liked another girl, and she was pretty. A Brazilian, very smiling, with bright, sparkling eyes and curly hair. She looked charming, had a lot of charm, easily drew me into adventures, and was very cute with me. How could I pass her by? I couldn't resist. With the first girl, we didn't have any obligations to each other. We didn't swear loyalty, declare our love, get married, or even live together. We simply enjoyed each other's company. That's all. I even asked her if she loved me, and she replied, no. However, she added that she felt good with me. I also felt good with her, but I chose another woman. Is this a crime? No. A mistake? I don't know. But I then understood why men often choose other women who seem to inspire them with just their appearance, presence, or a smile, unlike those who want to date men themselves. Each of us wants to really like the person we're with, don't we? Yes. And women choose based on the same principle. So what happened next? I'll tell you. When I chose someone else, at first she was very enthusiastic in her communication with me, but then she went to my first girlfriend and told her everything. After that they started to be like friends. I don't know if it was a real friendship or if it was an act of mutual retaliation against me, but during my last stay in Sao Paulo I saw them laughing and having fun right in front of me, and I was even amused by it. On the one hand, it's commendable, female solidarity, I'm flattered. But I must also mention the deceitfulness of women. The girl I liked told me about her relationship with her previous husband, how hard it was for her with him, and everything else. And that she's looking for a husband. What is important to her is who she will be with. However, when she refused to be with me, after a short period of time, when I went to her in Rio de Janeiro to talk about our relationship, it turned out that she had already found another boyfriend. So quickly, just 3 days after the so-called breakup. That's all the feelings. That's why girls can sing you guys songs about loyalty and sincerity for a long time, but it doesn't mean anything. When they need to, they quickly abandon their vows, their words, and their commitments, in favor of their own interests. I admit my guilt to that woman, but on the other hand I did not give her vows, I did not promise to be with her until the end of the world, I did not say words of loyalty, I did not make her a child, and then disappeared, I did not declare my love, I did not tell her that she is the best in the whole world. I was honest with her about that. Yes, I chose someone else. And what? The other did not choose me. She went to another guy. Sometimes I think it's a good thing that she came into my life at that time and helped me out, steering me away from a possible relationship with the first woman. So I'm even grateful to her. At that moment, she was a soldier at some military base in the Amazon, and she went on occasional business trips. The first woman was a shopkeeper of esoteric goods at the temple shop where I lived at the time. Both of them are attractive, good-looking, and interesting in their own way. But I did not stay with them, but on my own. And in the end I can clearly say, it was some passing relationship, which did not leave a special mark in my heart. Like a rain cloud. They were there and then they were gone. I must inform you, friends, that I am not an emotional or expressive person. One could even say that I am cold and hard. This is both true and not entirely true. For me, relationships are not so much about emotions as they are about actions. Both of these women disliked my emotional approach to them because it was cold as steel, like an ice-cold shower early in the morning. I will not deny this. Perhaps this was the case. I'm a man from a cold European world, less emotionally expressive than the Brazilian one. Fortunately, my relationship with both of them ended. However, what happened next changed my life for a long time. After a short time in Chile, I met a very passionate woman who captured my heart. She revived me. This beautiful woman was from Argentina, and she was as passionate as boiling water, as striking as an electric shock, and as charming as Aphrodite, incredible as spontaneous adventures, alluring as the charms of this world, and constantly under stress. We met in Chile, at one of the joint programs where Bhaktivedanta Vana Goswami Maharaj from India gave a public lecture. That's when she saw me for the first time and smiled at me, but I didn't show any interest. Later she messaged me on one of the social networks and we started chatting. I was immediately drawn to her, and believe me, there is a lot that can attract me, but despite all her virtues, she will ultimately turn out to be as deceitful as most other women. Women tend to lie and engage in self-deception, and most of them live by it. But I don't defend myself, and I don't exalt men either. I don't say that I'm a perfect guy. At that time, I was a foreigner with no home abroad and fluctuating income. ASOSO groom, nothing material to brag about. After all, women need finances and living space. I understand this perfectly. Yes, I didn't have much money then, my house remained under occupation, and I didn't set a clear goal to earn it in the countries of Latin America. I just wandered. I didn't have the task to settle somewhere thoroughly then. I didn't have big demands on life or complaints against God. I was satisfied with what I had. And when this Argentinian woman came into my life, I saw it as a sign. I liked her right away, even despite the fact that she had her own daughter from her previous husband, that she only spoke Spanish and didn't understand English, and that she was from a completely different world. However, over time I became attached to her. And although our relationship quickly went downhill, my move to her country of residence became fateful for me, because it was for her sake that I went to live in Chile. The two previous girls I mentioned above were insignificant to me, as it turned out in the end, and I think they weren't too interested in me either, but my love for the Argentinian woman was a real breakthrough. In addition, I also liked Argentina itself. I was there for a few days, visiting Buenos Aires and a number of other cities. I liked this distant country. However, after the Brazilian stage and living in the Netherlands, moving to Chile was a real discovery. I think it's time to tell you about my fate in this faraway country, with a cold ocean and dry valleys of the Andes Mountains.